This week we're going to start off with City of Ember, a enlightening book by Jeanne DuPrau. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I could be completely wrong. Anyway, this is a book of mystery and adventure, and it takes us through the city streets of Ember. So what we'll do is I'll go through the plot, give you a brief outline of the plot, then we'll come back and I'll let you know what I thought of City of Ember. City of Ember is a story about a city called Ember, which you've probably guessed from the title of the book. The prologue teases us with glimpses of the builders who constructed this city and give us some of their mysterious words. The city itself is our main setting, which is why it's great to see this glimpse of the builders of it at the beginning. And Ember is slightly special because it is a city that lives in complete darkness. There is no natural light in the city or outside the city. The only light they have comes from spotlights, which illuminate the streets and the houses of Ember. And the rest of the city, so they say, is surrounded by complete darkness. It's an area of complete mystery to the citizens of Ember, because as you can imagine, if it's completely dark, you don't know what's out there. And they say there's treacherous lands around there, and if others are to be believed, monsters as well. We're introduced to our main characters on their last day of school at Ember's only school, actually. Lena, an energetic and inquisitive young girl who dreams of something more than Ember. She dreams of a city, another city, that is full of light and full of colour. We also have Dune, a more practical boy who's good at fixing stuff and has his own dreams. He dreams of being the hero of Ember, of actually saving it, of actually fixing Ember. You see, all is not well in the city of Ember. All of its supplies and food and clothes are all held in giant storerooms underneath the city. And this is where the citizens of Ember get all of their supplies. They grow some supplies, but it's mainly held in these storerooms. And this is what Dune dreams of, because also they get their electricity and their water from the infamous pipeworks that lie under Ember. But the thing is, supplies are running short in Ember. They're running out of goods. And more importantly, things like light bulbs, which is really worrying the citizens of Ember. And also you have power shortages. So something's wrong in the pipeworks. Power shortages are plunging the whole city into darkness when there should be light. And this is where we enter the story. In the first act, the first part of the book, we see Lena and Dune running around the city, showing us what it is like to live in this city. And they get some mysterious messages and clues that draw them on further. You see Dune trying to think out, how can I fix this city? And Lena thinking, oh, are these bits and pieces to do with something else, something beyond Ember? Lena grabs hold of these things with both her hands, which really shows us that she's wanting that city of light she's been dreaming of. Their interests are truly piqued, though, when they find a forgotten message, a lost message, that both characters believe holds the answer to their dreams. For Lena, she thinks this message is a way to get to her shining city, the city she dreams of and draws of. And for Dune, he sees it as a way to save the city, to be the hero of Ember. And they try and decipher this message and see what it means. And it takes them on this twisting journey through the streets of Ember, and their journey takes them through these gloomy, worn streets of Ember, encountering treachery, mystery, dead end, old tales, and definitely new adventures. They're really trying to decipher what this message means and how maybe it can save Ember, and is it a clue to something beyond Ember? And this is the plot line. I'm not going to give too much away because this is the beauty of this book, I feel, is that mystery. So that's the basic plot line of City of Ember. So, Ember! City of Ember, or should I say. Had a look at the plot line. It's a very exciting book, full of mystery, as you've probably seen. I really like this book. I'm going to say that straight away. It was a book I could not put down. So if you're only going to listen to this bit, go out and read it. What I really liked about this book is you've got the setting, the characters and the plot all coming together to create the image that the author, I think, strove to create. I mean, the City of Ember is well, it's a gloomy, it's a dark place in more than just the lack of light. It seems like a very sad place. Not necessarily a dangerous place, but a sad place to live. And I think the author has really taken the time to build that world. And she does this in the way that her characters interact with the world, but also by taking the time to describe what's going on around us, to take the time to build the city. Whether it's the long lines at the grocery store or the shop, the rarity of coloured pencils, the blackouts, or one part that I really liked was when the author, I think it's Lena, takes the time to look at the city's clock that requires winding every day, and someone's got this job, but raises the question, what happens if this person's maybe lazy and doesn't wind the clock, or forgets to? What effect does that have on our perception of time? And I think that's really powerful as well. And then raising other questions about what's it like to be in complete darkness when those lights go off at night, to be in pitch black darkness. What could Ember be like in that situation? Because although, you know, we've all experienced nighttime, I think very few of us have experienced complete darkness. There's always some form of light. And I think this all comes together to build a really powerful image of Ember, which is so important in this story. And I really like the way the author has taken the time to add in those details about Ember. And a lot of them aren't even plot details. They're just there to build this world of Ember, which I really enjoyed. I felt that at the end I could walk the streets of Ember and get a sense, to some extent, of what it would be like to live in that city. The characters, Doon and Lena are our main characters, but they're supported by a cast of many. Lena and Doon, they're good characters. They're fleshed out. You know, you've got Lena, who's sort of her airiness and inquisitiveness, her impulsiveness to go out and run about and do things. It gives a nice complement or contrast to Doon, who's a bit more mechanical in his thinking. He's a bit more logical. Out of the two, I think I preferred Doon. He seemed a bit more real, I suppose. He had that anger inside of him that he was having to deal with, and that made him, to me, seem more real. I mean, the plot's fantastic. It's a fairly substantial book, I would say, for this age range, but you've got to stick with it. And if you're like me, I couldn't put it down, so I didn't have the need to be in that perseverance. But it's this mystery story, and you don't really see what the mystery is. You're sort of guided by these two characters as they're sort of children trying to get to grips with the world, and Lena wanting something more, and dreaming of a lighter place, and Doon thinking he could be the hero of Ember and fix everything. And you're taken down these sort of alleyways, not in Ember, but in the storyway, and you think, oh, we're finally getting to grips with the storyline here, and then it turns into a dead end or a twist. And it's not until about halfway through the book and until they make this discovery that you can kind of see where this story's going. Although I have to say, I didn't know. I genuinely wanted to find out what Ember was about. What is it? Where is it? And what are these mysterious messages they found? So it really drives the plot, and you're carried on that journey and teased and given bits of information here and there to keep you going through that story and really want to find out what's going to happen next. So the plot is really well done, and it takes you on a journey. You're really on that journey with Lena and Doon as they run through the streets of Ember, facing treachery, discovering things, trying to work things out in this world that the author has built and taken the time to build. I highly recommend this book. I think it's probably one of my favourite, and mainly because it didn't follow the same sort of storylines that a lot of books at this age range do. It felt different, and it felt fresh, which I really appreciated. So 2 thumbs up for City of Ember. I'd recommend this probably, you're looking for children in year 6 maybe. If you're in year 6, give it a go. That's 10 and 11 year olds, and then all the way up. I think, you know, adults would enjoy this book as much. I certainly did. So I'd recommend that, but don't be put off by maybe the size, because it's a proper book, and keep going with the story because you'll be rewarded. I really liked it. It had a really nice ending to it as well. Sorry, nice isn't a great word. An interesting ending, which was slightly different to what I was expecting. And it was an interesting sort of commentary as well. One of my only problems with the book is the last 2 pages, or the last page. Something that Lena and Dune do, something that happens in the story. I won't tell you because it will spoil it, but I just felt the book didn't need it. So when you get to those last 2 pages or that last page, have a think. Perhaps you liked it. I thought the book didn't need it. Overall, fantastic book. Go and read it. Have fun with it.